my god, what the fuck? Oh my god!
Listen, that made me take the headset off.
Come on, man. Time to go home, man.
Oh my god.
Let's go home. Let's go home.
What the fuck? I have never seen a multi like that in my entire life. What up, Dokkanners? Welcome back to Junalami for another video on Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle. So, as of yesterday, we got the brand new EZA for Global, which is the Super Vegito. And with this guy comes some pretty cool teams that you could potentially use in the event. So this video is going to be just a breakdown of the event itself, the category that you need to bring, some potential leads, and some pretty cool gameplay that you're going to be seeing here, both free to play and pay to play. So without further ado, let's begin. Obviously, as you can see right here, he is weak to Transformation Boost. When you think Transformation Boost, you automatically think Cooler. Now, Cooler is actually going to play a very crucial role in this video, as you are going to see later on. He is actually very, very effective, even in the latter stages of this event, despite the fact that he has type disadvantage. So don't rule him out. If you are getting to the point where you're running out of options, Cooler is not a bad option, not a bad last resort. This event has 30 stages, which means 30 stones, which also means a bunch of medals and some Kais. But aside from those, very interesting, he gains damage reduction against all super types, but he also gains damage reduction against Extreme Int. So not only Super Int, but Extreme Int. So basically, after level 19, going into stage 20, you cannot use Extreme Int or any super unit. You have to bring Extreme AGL, Extreme Tech, Extreme STR, Extreme Physical. Not bad as far as versatility, that does give you some options for teams, but it's just kind of weird to see that Int for some reason is just entirely... Oh, actually, you know what? Maybe it's because Int was Buhan. Maybe that's why they suddenly decided to give Int full... I don't know. Anyway, you've got options, so you're fine. So as I mentioned, by the time the event is done, you will be getting your standard medals, enough orbs to rainbow an AGL unit, and 11 Grand Kais plus 30 stones. Very nice. Now, the category itself, Transformation Boost. A very lucrative category, but since we cannot use super units, that basically cuts this in half, and it does limit your options. Now, if you don't have any extreme Transformation Boost units, this is going to be a bit of a struggle for you. I myself never found myself in a situation where I had to use super units. In the early stages, you can probably get away with it, but once you get to stage 20, you really need to have extreme. Even if you don't have, I think if you don't have any extreme units that are part of the Transformation Boost category, you should still bring extreme tech units instead of bringing super units that fall under Transformation Boost. I think you're still going to be better off by using extreme tech units, regardless. So when you look at this, you see, unfortunately, a lot of units that are not going to be usable, like the Vegitos. First of all, we don't even have them because we're not in JP. But the Oob is not a good option. The Gohan, Gogeta. You're going to be looking at units like Broly, Imperfect Cell, Baby Vegeta, surprisingly, and STR Cooler among the particular units that you would look at. These guys are actually very, very good. How does this guy shape up pre and post EZA? Let's take a look at the pre-EZA stats first. AGL type, key plus 3, 70% across the board. Pretty decent for an old unit. It's not super or extreme, it's all AGL, so that's pretty awesome. Causes immense damage, allies attack plus 30% for one turn. Kinda cool, I'm alright with that. Passive skill, damage received from normal attacks minus 80%, counters with tremendous power. You can see why there was so much hype around this unit. This is actually pretty impressive for a unit pre-ZA. So people were really expecting this to be the new age of EZA units, and unfortunately it didn't live up to the hype for a lot of people, but I myself was a big fan of what they did with it. So now let's take a look at the EZA itself. He becomes an all AGL type, key plus 4, 100% across the board. Very nice upgrade. His super attack pretty much stays the same. Causes immense damage to the enemy and raises allies' attack by 35% for one turn. That is among the highest. I don't know if that is the highest. I think there's someone else that can do a 40% boost. But this is among the highest stat boosting that you can do for an ally in a super attack, I believe. So that is a pretty big boost right there. So now his passive, attack and defense plus 40% within the same turn after receiving an attack. So what I see from this is that he still will not have a base passive of having, 100% attack and defense. He's not going to have that. This unit is completely reactionary. It all depends on what you're dealing with as the enemy attacks you. So if you get hit, whether getting hit by a super or not, you will get attack and defense plus 40%, which is better than nothing. Foresees enemy super attack when HP is 40% or less. Damage received from normal attacks minus 80%, counters with tremendous power. I don't know why the ordering is done this way. I don't know why the damage received is afterwards. That can be a little confusing. But basically, he keeps his original passive. He gains some extra stuff in the beginning. So he will get attack and defense plus 40% after getting hit with an attack, and he can foresee enemies' attacks when HP is 40% or less. I do need to mention, this is not like the free-to-play Android 14 and 15, where all you have to do is be with Android 13 once and you can scout the enemy's attacks the rest of the fight. This is not like that. This one is completely based on if you are 40% or less. So if you're in emergency mode, you're about to die, you will be able to see the enemy's attacks until you get yourself back in the clear. Once that happens, you will no longer be able to see the enemy attacks. But the reason why I like this is because it's a little situational, but when it is in that situation, it's pretty cool, right? When you're about to die, you don't really expect the situation to change in terms of what information you have access to. With this ability, you now have the access of seeing their attacks when they're coming, and you can adjust this unit accordingly. Let's say the unit is going to be attacking at the beginning. With the super attack, you can shift this guy towards the end, where there's going to be a bunch of normal attacks, potentially, and this guy can counter all of them and do significant damage that way. So I do like this. It's very unique, it's very different, and it does encourage some creative gameplay, and that's what I like about this. So this is a very nice, in my opinion, a very nice boost for an EZA. Again, I understand why people don't like it. I myself do like it. Feel free to let me know your thoughts in the comments. Just remember, I'm not saying you guys are wrong. I'm just trying to make the most out of what we've been given with this unit. So let's get into the meat and potatoes of the video. Let's take a look at some potential team builds. Now for me, I only ended up using 2 teams, but I actually used a third one that actually could be very, very useful in the early stages and probably the entire run. So let's start off with the no-brainer, the pay-to-play team. So this is my pay-to-play team. Frieza plus Cell, basically. All of these guys are in the Transformation Boost category, led by the EZA Golden Frieza, one of the best tanks in the game. You could even argue he is the best tank in the game for right now. Now that the HGL Golden Frieza has been announced, I think that's going to be going to him as far as the best tank. But this guy is an all-tech leader, Ki plus 3, 120. He does massive damage, and he can tank really, really well. You've got a great support with the Golden Cooler. Transforming Frieza can heal, stack attack, and defense. This guy can heal you and also temporarily stack attack and defense. This is a great support. The World Tournament Cell, my favorite unit in the entire game. He can heal you, he can do a lot of damage, and he can't nerf because towards the latter stages you cannot nerf the opponent, so that doesn't matter, but he links very well. This is a very, very complete team. I never once had to use Broly, I don't think. I think maybe, actually, you know what? I think towards the final fight I decided to use a Broly because I had run out of other options for leads, but this team totally works just fine. You don't need to have an LR in the group, other than the free-to-play one. I meant you don't have to have the Broly in there. This team works very, very well. If you just have this one and you don't really want to be fancy about it, just run through the event, no problem. You'll get it done in like 30 minutes or less. So this is the team to use. You can definitely use other options. As I mentioned, if you don't have Transformation Boost units, use other normal Extreme Tech units, like for example, Nova Shenron is a nice one, maybe the Fusion Zamasu. You have a lot of options here. Again, you're probably better off using these guys than using someone in the category that's a super unit. But anyway, that is the gist of this team. Very straightforward. Now, what's interesting is before I show you this free-to-play team that I actually used to run through the event, there's actually another team that I just discovered as I was attempting to do stage 31 fully free-to-play, and that is the Artificial Lifeforms team. So this team consists of every single unit falling in the Artificial Lifeforms category, as well as the Transformation Boost category. The reason that I tried this team out and actually did very, very well, unfortunately I don't have footage of this, is because I wanted to see if I could maybe bring the AGL Baby Vegeta. The AGL Baby Vegeta is actually a very powerful unit. So this is actually a very interesting roundabout way to circumvent the whole STR Cooler thing. If you're very nervous about bringing STR Cooler, Even though he's really strong, he does have type disadvantage. If you do get supered and then you get a couple slaps in there, you might end up losing. So if you're worried about that, consider bringing this guy. So if you bring this guy along with your core team consisting of these free-to-play units led by, you have to have this cell. There's no way around it. You have to have this cell, so make sure you farm him out. And if you've got this cell linked up with the other cells, you've got a couple artificial life form units that provide some stat support, some key support, you're actually going to do just fine. I took this team into stage 31, and I lost only because I accidentally misclicked and I pushed a couple orbs the wrong way. It's very late, and I'm tired. But this team is actually very, very good. So consider using this if you need to, free-to-play players. Consider using this team during your runs. But the team that I use to run through this event for the majority as a free-to-play team is this one right here, the Transformation Boost team led by the free-to-play second form, Frieza. This unit is awesome. He doesn't really do much in terms of damage since you're only fighting one enemy. His main focus is predicated on group attacks, but he is still very good as a lead. The reason why I'm using him as a lead instead of the cell is because you are going to be using this team with the STR Cooler. And if you bring Cooler, he does not fall under the Artificial Life Forms umbrella. He's only a Terrifying Conquerors and Transformation Boost category. Well, he's also others, but he doesn't fall under Artificial Life Forms, so you can't run the cell, which is fine because the boost that you get from the EZA second form Frieza is more than enough. That combined with Cooler, you're going to see some pretty awesome damage and some pretty awesome defense. So without further ado, let's check out the gameplay from yesterday's stream. Enjoy! Wade Boggs, that's it. Wade Boggs, thank you. 389 people watching. Yeah, dude. Yeah, man. We got a lot of tunes out here. This is EZA game night. I know a lot of things, and I also don't know a lot of things, so it's very confusing. But I will give that person credit, because that was a big brain move saying that. Unfortunately, I'm not trying to do this to throw you off, but honestly, the things that I know are not consistent with my age. I just have to say that. But that is a very good guess, and you get an A for thinking that way, because that's super big brain. That was a good Nano impression. Oh, it's been better. Final round, pay to play. Wait, who's Toon? I don't know. Who is Toon? All right, we're gonna have to have Cooler eat these attacks so that we can. Oh no! I screwed that up. All right, no Ultra Super for you. Forget it. Forget it. Damn it. It has been so long since I've seen this attack. Generally speaking, when I don't have a unit, I tend to just stay away from it so that I don't feel like I'm missing out. Which is why that was actually a pretty sweet attack. I haven't seen that in a very long time. Toon is a Cronenberg monster that can replicate any voice he hears. Why does that sound familiar? Finished and EZA'd. 2 Vegitos together. Very nice. Good job. Thank you for the donut, by the way. And welcome to the stream, my friend. Toon is actually a part of all of us. We are Legion. I mean, Toon, damn it. Cronenberg is a person I believe. Cronenberg was referenced on Rick and Morty. Yeah, I forgot. I have never given anyone the actual number, so nobody knows. But feel free to guess. It's not like I don't want to tell you. I am just making a game out of it. You guys will eventually learn. So if you're worried that you'll never find out, don't worry. You will find out. I'm just having some fun with it.